On the vast cosmic tapestry, where every being lived according to immutable rules of logic, humans were seen as a miscalculation, an irrational and disconnected aberration. In a galaxy governed by mathematical precision, where every thought was programmed for maximum efficiency, humans were treated with disdain and disbelief. Until, in a surprising turn of events, what many considered a flaw turned out to be the most powerful weapon in the universe. In one of the galaxy's farthest reaches, the civilization of the Luminarchs flourished. These beings, with translucent skin that shimmered in iridescent hues and eyes that gleamed like stars, were admired for their advanced technology and rigorous mental discipline. Their bodies were slender and almost ethereal, adorned with bioluminescent tattoos that told ancient stories of conquest and knowledge. They valued clarity and purity of reasoning, believing that any trace of emotion or imagination could contaminate their logical perfection. The universal doctrine, accepted by all rational species, asserted that the ability to dream was a primitive remnant, a mental deficiency, of humans, incapable of dealing with the cold reality of numbers and algorithms. At interplanetary meetings, the Luminarchs and other rational races mocked humans, describing them as chaotic creatures who wasted time on trivialities like strong coffee, naps, and bizarre entertainment programs. Everything seemed to follow the established order until a catalytic incident shook the foundations of intergalactic thought. During the Great Conference of Universal Reason, held at the majestic Orion Celestial Station, representatives of various species debated the course of cosmic evolution. Amid meticulous speeches and demonstrations of almost poetic calculations, a human emissary, Arlen, accidentally interrupted a session with an offhand remark, "Sorry, but this equation makes no sense without a good cup of coffee to go with it." The silence that followed was deafening. The Luminarchs, accustomed to speeches of pure reason, interpreted the comment as a sign of mental disorder. However, while nervous laughter and whispers of disbelief echoed through the station's halls, Arlen began to narrate, spontaneously, a vision that had struck him the night before. He described worlds where colors danced like symphonies, where the laws of physics bent in unimaginable patterns, and where emotions created bridges between dimensions. "It's as if we've been living in a two-dimensional universe, and suddenly someone added a third dimension, a dimension where dreams aren't just illusions but keys to new possibilities," Arlen explained, as casually as if he were talking about his breakfast. Some delegates frowned, others, who had never experienced anything like it, felt an unsettling curiosity. Arlen's speech spread like wildfire. In the days following the conference, meticulous investigations began to reveal that, far from being defective, humans possessed a peculiar ability that defied pure logic: the ability to dream. These dreams were not mere fantasies but complex parallel universes where creativity allowed the resolution of problems that pure rationality could not decipher. In a sequence of events blending tension and comedy, the leaders of the Luminarchs convened a team of specialists, including the relentless Commander Saren, known for her almost mechanical coldness, to study the human phenomenon. As they examined samples of oniric matter and recorded human dream descriptions, the alien scientists stumbled upon a revolutionary technology, mechanisms capable of transforming imagination into energy and matter, opening doors to interdimensional perceptions. During an experimental session in a laboratory filled with equipment that shimmered with almost divine precision, one of the researchers, Zalkar, murmured in astonishment, "These dream entities, they defy all our principles of causality." To his shock, a machine, jokingly nicknamed the Dreamer 9000, began emitting a vibrant, chaotic energy that resembled the boiling of poorly brewed espresso more than an exact calculation. "It's as if the universe has been seasoned with a touch of humanity," another technician exclaimed, between laughter that, though controlled, echoed genuine admiration. The turning point came when, during a public demonstration for the highest intergalactic authorities, a renowned Luminarch scientist, Lord Clyro, declared in a trembling voice, "We have always underestimated the complexity of humans. Their apparent irrationality is, in fact, the essence of a creativity that allows us to transcend the rigidity of determinism." In a tone mixing awe and humor, Clyro compared the human way of improvising to the way many of his colleagues took their coffee, a charming blunder that reminds us that sometimes, beauty lies precisely in imperfection. As the impasse between logic and dreams intensified, heated debates arose. Some representatives argued that alien discipline could be complemented by human spontaneity, while others feared that introducing such creative chaos could destabilize the universe. Amid these discussions, Arlen once again found himself at the center of attention. Invited to a social dinner, where the menu included everything from synthetic meals to a strange imitation of pizza, he was approached by young scientists who, between sips of a translucent drink, asked with genuine curiosity, "How do you humans manage to disconnect from work just to dream?" Arlen, laughing, replied, "Ah, my friends, dreaming is our way of working in our spare time. Maybe we should all rethink the idea that rest is the same as laziness." The revelation that humans were the only ones capable of dreaming transformed intergalactic dynamics. The technologies derived from that oniric energy began to revolutionize transportation, communication, and even governance across multiple planets. Human creativity, once ridiculed, came to be seen as the missing link between the rigidity of logic and the fluidity of existence. By the conclusion of events, as Orion's celestial station transformed into a center for cultural and technological exchange, old beliefs began to dissipate. Humans, with their bitter coffee and restorative naps, had proven that imagination is a powerful tool for reinventing the world. And so, in a universe where everyone thought dreaming was a flaw, the truth emerged: the ability to dream was, in reality, the key to unlocking new dimensions of knowledge and creativity. As the station's lights flickered in sync with the pulsating colors of the luminarcs, Arlen observed visitors from all corners of the cosmos. He knew that, although humans were chaotic and disordered, that very imperfection was what allowed them to transcend barriers. Amid laughter, heated debates, and a touch of absurdity, almost like a good episode of interplanetary entertainment, the universe discovered that sometimes, being irrational might be the most logical path to evolution. And so, with the gentle breeze of a shared dream, the cosmos would never be the same again. Humans and aliens, once so distant, found in the fusion of common sense and imagination the recipe for a future where work blended with rest and order transformed into art. After all, as someone once joked about the daily ritual of coffee, life is too short to be just logic. Sometimes, you have to let your mind wander and create better worlds. Right after the surprising revelation at Orion's celestial station, the universe trembled with uncertainty. Arlen's demonstration had not only shaken the beliefs of an ancient civilization but also called into question the very foundation of absolute logic that governed alien species. As delegates from all corners of the cosmos debated in an almost deafening tone, the news spread and took on the contours of a revolutionary phenomenon. In the days that followed, the repercussions of the human revelation were palpable. The intergalactic institutions, once proud of their rigid rationality, faced a whirlwind of internal debates. In high-tech corridors lined with luminous panels and precise holograms, scientists and rulers asked themselves, how could something so seemingly chaotic be the key to an evolutionary leap? At the same time, conservative factions feared that this new, oniric energy could destabilize the delicate balance of their societies. Within the Supreme Council of the Luminarchs, the atmosphere was one of institutional panic and diplomatic unrest. Emergency meetings were convened, where leaders fervently debated the implications of this human anomaly. Many feared that introducing human unpredictability and creativity could jeopardize the rigid protocols that had maintained order in the universe for millennia. Among the council members, two new figures emerged with diametrically opposed perspectives on humans. The first was General Quarus, a luminarch of severe posture and unshakable conviction. With skin that emitted a cold glow and eyes that shimmered with the intensity of supernovae, Quarus regarded humans with distrust and fear. To him, human irrationality was a threat to cosmic order and stability. If we allow this chaos to infiltrate our society, the entire logical structure we have built may collapse, he argued gravely during debate sessions. Quarus represented the conservative faction, which valued tradition and absolute control over the variables of existence. In contrast, Commissioner Zeller emerged as the voice of adaptability and curiosity. Less imposing in stature but endowed with a sharp mind and an inquisitive gaze, Zeller embraced novelty with measured enthusiasm. We have never been incapable of evolution, but our evolution has always been guided by fixed formulas. Perhaps the time has come to consider that imagination, no matter how chaotic it seems, might be the driving force of a new era for our civilization, she asserted with conviction. Zeller saw in humans an opportunity to transcend the limitations that had, until then, defined the universe. While the Supreme Council debated, human influence began to manifest unexpectedly within alien society. Across various colonies and space stations, human practices and habits were gradually introduced, creating a mix of fascination and perplexity. In interplanetary markets, holograms displayed images of Earth's landscapes, bustling cafes, and even artistic expressions that seemed to float in pure visual poetry. A particularly emblematic scene occurred in a massive intergalactic commercial center when a group of humans, led by Arlen, organized a small, cultural fair. Among colorful stalls filled with exotic aromas, they presented earthly curiosities, from the tradition of coffee, a hot and aromatic beverage that, according to humans, was almost a sacred ritual, to the custom of taking selfies with portable devices. Aliens, accustomed to interactions governed by formal protocols and precise calculations, were completely bewildered by something so trivial. At one of these stalls, a newly arrived alien, crystalline in appearance, with limbs oscillating in geometric patterns, cautiously approached. "This object, is a camera? And why do you insist on capturing the moment?" it asked, its tone a mixture of fascination and confusion. Arlen, with a relaxed smile, replied, "Yes, my friend. It's a selfie. It's our way of saying, hey, I exist here, right now." His explanation elicited nervous laughter and whispers among the alien spectators, and soon, the incident turned into a hilariously surreal cultural clash, revealing how something so simple could upend the expectations of an entirely logical species. Over time, more details about human culture and technology began to emerge. Stories about human evolution, from early struggles to great inventions driven by the power of dreams, were told with both pride and humor. The idea that rest, naps, and even procrastination could be sources of inspiration and innovation challenged all alien logic. After all, in a society where every action was calculated for maximum efficiency, leisure and idleness were seen as flaws. In one of the advanced research facilities, Luminarch scientists attempted to decipher the intricate mechanisms of the Dreamer 9000. This device, which initially resembled a chaotic data processor, was proving capable of transforming abstract ideas into tangible prototypes, a technology that allowed new devices to be created from human dreams. During a test session, the machine emitted a series of strange sounds and pulsating lights while projecting holograms of unusual contraptions that blended elements of quantum physics with almost poetic creativity. It was in this setting that a misunderstanding threatened to escalate into conflict. During a joint meeting between human and alien representatives, a holographic translator misinterpreted a comment from Arlen. While explaining that dreaming is like rebooting the system, the translator rendered the phrase in a way that sounded like humans want to overthrow the entire order and seize power. The error provoked an outcry among the more conservative delegates, particularly those led by General Kvaris, who demanded immediate measures to contain the supposed human uprising. Tension quickly escalated in the corridors of Orion's Celestial Station, with delegates engaging in heated debates and veiled threats circulating. Fortunately, Commissioner Zeller's intervention, with her conciliatory stance, helped defuse the situation. "We cannot allow a misunderstanding to turn into a galactic conflict. We have before us the opportunity to learn from each other and transform ourselves," Zeller declared, calling for a new round of negotiations to truly understand the meaning of human dreams. As official debates unfolded, human influence began to provoke unexpected cultural changes among the Luminarchs. Small gestures and habits, once considered trivial, started to be studied and gradually integrated into alien daily life. In various regions, aliens began to appreciate moments of pause and reflection, realizing that the balance between work and rest was a key to innovation, a concept that, although strange, showed surprising results. In the communal plazas of stellar cities, informal debates arose among citizens. Some, inspired by human stories, argued that creativity was just as essential as logic. "Perhaps we should all set aside time simply to dream, to let our minds wander freely," said a young luminarch as his peers listened with a mixture of astonishment and admiration. This cultural shift opened the possibility of a new era, where the integration of reason and imagination could create a more flexible and innovative society. One of the episodes that best illustrated this transformation was the organization of a movie night hosted by the humans. Inspired by ancient earthly rituals, the human visitors prepared a film screening, a practice entirely unknown to the aliens. The choice of a classic comedy, filled with scenes of everyday human life, led to an unexpected cultural shock. In the projection room, the expressions of the alien spectators were a mix of curiosity and confusion. As scenes of people laughing, tripping, and getting into absurd situations played on the screen, a group of luminarchs, led by General Quares, murmured among themselves, "How can something so trivial be considered art? This is a complete waste of logical time." On the other hand, Commissioner Zeeler smiled and observed attentively, recognizing that behind the apparent simplicity lay a profound expression of humanity and creativity. During the intermission, a group of aliens attempted to mimic human gestures, such as the act of stretching and even drinking coffee, leading to a series of comical moments. A young luminarch, trying to hold a coffee mug, an object still under scientific study by the alien researchers, ended up spilling the dark liquid all over her bioluminescent robe. Rather than causing offense, the situation provoked laughter and served as a catalyst for the aliens to begin seeing life with a lighter, less rigid perspective. Despite cultural advancements and growing integration, the atmosphere on Orion's Celestial Station remained tense. The misunderstanding at the joint meeting was still a recurring topic, and some delegates, particularly the more conservative ones, continued to harbor distrust toward humans. During a particularly heated session, General Quares raised his voice, "If we allow this anomaly to spread, we will be opening the doors to total chaos. We must establish clear boundaries on what can and cannot be permitted." His words reverberated throughout the hall, and for a brief moment, the possibility of open conflict seemed imminent. However, Commissioner Zeeler, with her usual composure, intervened and proposed the creation of an interspecies committee to monitor and regulate the exchange of knowledge and practices between humans and aliens. "We must work together to build a bridge between the rigor of reason and the freedom of dreams. This union could lead us to a level of progress never before imagined," Zeeler declared, as those present weighed the proposal with a mix of relief and skepticism. As the committee took shape, new investigations began revealing aspects of human culture that no one had anticipated. During a secret research session led by Dr. Martin, a human scientist specializing in neurotechnology, it was discovered that human dreams contained not only elements of imagination but also complex patterns that could be translated into highly efficient algorithms. When applied to luminarch energy and transportation systems, these algorithms demonstrated revolutionary potential, the possibility of generating near-limitless energy through creative processes, without the constraints imposed by conventional physics. The discovery quickly became the focal point of intense debate in the Supreme Council. While some viewed dream-derived technology as the next frontier of evolution, others feared it could lead to a dangerous dependency on an unstable and unpredictable form of energy. In an impromptu speech, Arlen reaffirmed, "We humans have always been driven by the need to dream, to imagine the impossible. If we harness this ability consciously, we can not only generate energy but also create a universe where logic and dreams walk side by side." At the climax of the session, a new revelation shook the foundations of the debate even further. Records of the earliest human dreams, preserved in ancient archives, contained clues about forgotten technologies and life philosophies that, if rediscovered, could completely transform intergalactic civilization. These documents, written in a symbolic and poetic language, suggested that humans, in ages past, had reached levels of interdimensional connection never imagined by purely rational species. With this revelation, the tense atmosphere began shifting into a mix of hope and caution. The establishment of the Interspecies Committee solidified as a bridge to a new era, yet divisions remained. General Kvaris, still bitter and distrustful, swore that human influence should be carefully contained, while Commissioner Zeeler and her allies advocated for integration as the path to mutual evolution. At the peak of the meeting, just as debates seemed headed toward an irreconcilable deadlock, an alert came from the committee's laboratories. One of the experimental devices connected to the Dreamer 9000 had detected an unusual interdimensional signal, a pulse of energy unlike anything previously recorded. Measurements indicated that this signal, originating from the archives of ancestral dreams, was intensifying, suggesting a response from the universe to the unprecedented fusion of reason and imagination. Arlen, his eyes shining with excitement, announced, "This is not just a signal. It's a call. An opportunity to prove that the balance between logic and the dreamlike can, in fact, unlock secrets beyond our comprehension." His voice echoed through the hall, causing even the most skeptical to fall silent for a moment and contemplate the magnitude of the moment. As the signal pulsed and tension blended with a sense of anticipation, the committee decided to launch a joint mission. A mixed team of humans and luminarchs would be sent to investigate the origin of this interdimensional phenomenon. The expedition represented not only a scientific challenge but also the ultimate test for the new alliance between species. As preparations for the mission began, the faces of the participants reflected a mixture of fear, hope, and curiosity. General Kvaris, reluctant yet aware of the necessity for action, muttered, "May this improbable union not be our downfall, but rather the beginning of a new era of balance." Beside him, Commissioner Zeeler smiled with the confidence of someone who understood that the unity of differences is the essence of true evolution. And so, as the first signs of a transformation swept across the cosmos, the universe braced itself for a new journey. Humans and aliens, once so distant in their natures, now walked side by side toward an uncertain but limitless future. The fusion of logic with dreams, reason with imagination, promised to redefine not just technology and culture but the very essence of intergalactic existence itself. As the final preparations were completed and the team gathered to embark on the unknown, one last detail captured everyone's attention: an ancient human manifesto, written centuries ago, that simply stated, "Dream, dare, and transform." These words echoed like a powerful refrain, making it clear that the true revolution was not in machines or algorithms but in humanity's ability to transcend limitations and inspire evolution. With the interdimensional signal pulsing in the background and the promise of a future where the impossible became possible, history was about to take its next great leap, and the universe, vast and infinite, eagerly awaited what was to come. As the Interspecies Committee organized itself to investigate the enigmatic interdimensional pulse, a subtle, yet irreversible, transformation had already begun reshaping the relationship between humans and aliens. What was once seen as an irrational human anomaly now revealed itself to be a driving force capable of revolutionizing the cosmic status quo. Amid heated debates and cautious hopes, power dynamics shifted. Humans, once considered flawed, began to emerge as indispensable, while purely logical species found themselves forced to rethink their doctrines. Within Orion's Celestial Station, the mixed team, led by Arlen, Commissioner Zeeler, and the reluctant General Kvaris, embarked on their journey toward the source of the mysterious signal. Their experimental vessel, named Aurora of Dreams, was a fusion of alien technologies and intuitive human methods. As the crew traversed interdimensional space, the tension between calculated methods and the unpredictability of dreams became evident in every decision made aboard the ship. During the voyage, the alien algorithm-based navigation systems began exhibiting anomalies. The Dreamer 9000, now integrated into the ship's network, transformed the route into a spiral of colors and possibilities, demonstrating that human imagination could open pathways where pure logic failed. This phenomenon not only impressed the Luminarch scientists but also forced General Kvaris to reluctantly admit that the human approach possessed unsuspected qualities. "I never thought chaos could be so productive," Kvaris murmured, watching as the holographic panels displayed unpredictable yet wonderfully intricate trajectories. No sooner had Aurora of Dreams entered an unknown region of space than a colossal gravitational anomaly, dubbed the Void of Eschner, began forming ahead of them. This phenomenon, described as a distortion in the fabric of spacetime, threatened not only the mission but also the station and nearby planets. The energy emanating from the void was chaotic and destabilizing, forcing humans and aliens to unite in an effort to prevent this anomaly from consuming the stability of the cosmos. As sensors blared warnings of an imminent collapse, panic spread through the ship's corridors. Logical algorithms failed to predict the Void of Eschner's behavior, and even the Luminarch's advanced devices seemed powerless against the disorderly force emanating from it. It was then that Arlen, with his usual blend of boldness and calm confidence, proposed a solution that combined calculation with intuition. Perhaps we can use the very power of dreams to neutralize this void. If our imagination can open pathways, why not close rifts? With the committee's reluctant approval, the team launched a joint operation. Humans were tasked with feeding the system dream sequences, narratives of hope and possibility, while the aliens adapted their calculations to amplify this abstract energy. The integration of rational and imaginative methods began to yield surprising results. Slowly, the Void of Eschner started stabilizing, its chaotic energy molded into harmonic patterns, as if the universe itself were responding to a new rhythm. As the operation progressed, human cultural and technological concepts gained traction among their alien allies. In the administrative sectors of Orion's Celestial Station, records of human practices, ranging from coffee breaks to the celebration of small joyful moments, were incorporated as examples of balance between work and rest. Ancient documents, heartfelt testimonials, and holographic images of cafes and casual gatherings inspired discussions that went beyond mere efficiency, introducing the idea that creative leisure could also be a source of innovation. In one of the research labs, a group of young luminarchs who had once regarded humans with skepticism began adopting these practices. Leaders of this emerging movement, nicknamed the Lucid Dreamers, started hosting mental improvisation sessions and informal gatherings where artistic expression and creativity were encouraged. During one such session, a young, crystalline-skinned alien named Ileron surprised everyone by passionately defending an old Earth song. "You don't understand. This melody, though simple, carries the essence of human hope. It's like saying, even in chaos, there is beauty." Ileron, once among the most vocal critics of human methods, now saw music and dreams as a way to connect his species with something transcendent. Amid this transformation, humorous moments emerged, revealing both the wonders and absurdities of interspecies adaptation. One particularly eventful afternoon, a group of alien officers decided to organize a cultural training session inspired by human idioms. During the session, a veteran luminarch attempted to translate the famous expression, "barking up the wrong tree," but lacking any cultural context, took it literally. Wearing an improvised cape and holding mechanical objects resembling Earth's trees, the officer seriously searched for a dog to perform the task properly. The confusion was so great that a wave of laughter spread through the room. Even General Kvaris couldn't suppress a brief smile, revealing that even the most rigid minds could be touched by human humor. On another occasion, some aliens attempted to adopt the human tradition of happy hour. Inspired by records of earthly celebrations, they organized a gathering with drinks meant to replicate the flavors of coffee and soft drinks. However, unaware of ingredient nuances, they ended up creating explosive and bizarre combinations. One drink, when shaken, released a foam that engulfed the entire room, leaving the attendees scrambling to contain the surreal mess. These small cultural mishaps served as reminders that the fusion of rationality and imagination was not always perfect, but was rich with opportunities for learning and laughter. As external challenges were faced, a deeper discovery began to emerge. In a meticulous analysis of ancestral dream archives, Dr. Martin and his team identified patterns of empathy and emotional connection that transcended mere creativity. These records revealed that, at their core, humans did not dream solely to create technologies or open new interdimensional pathways, they dreamed to connect, to feel, and to understand the universe in its entirety. The true strength of humans is not only in their ability to imagine the impossible but in their capacity to feel what no one else can, Arlen remarked as he examined an ancient narrative of sacrifice and love that resonated with unexpected depth. This realization shook both humans and aliens alike. Some humans, accustomed to the external perception of their irrationality, began to value their sensitivity as a form of wisdom, one that, though not measurable in numbers, possessed a transformative power. The recognition that empathy and the desire for connection could be as revolutionary as any technological invention created a newfound sense of identity among the dreamers. Among young aliens, fascination with humans solidified into a vibrant and effervescent subculture. The lucid dreamers not only adopted human habits but reinterpreted them, blending them with their own rational codes to create a new cultural aesthetic. Art workshops, interdimensional poetry, and even mental improvisation competitions became common in areas once dominated by cold and precise calculations. This new generation, defying centuries-old traditions, began to see imagination as an indispensable tool for evolution, a symbol of freedom amid rigidity. During one of these cultural celebrations, in a crystal amphitheater aboard the Celestial Station, Ileron performed alongside a young human, Lucia, renowned for her ability to turn small, everyday moments into epic narratives. Their duet, a fusion of human melodies and alien harmonies, touched the hearts of all present, creating an atmosphere of unexpected communion. Discreet tears were seen on both human faces and the luminous visages of the luminarchs, proving that despite their differences, emotion was a universal language. However, not everything was festivity and celebration. Behind the scenes, stabilizing the Eshner void required sacrifices and constant adjustments. Some of the more conservative factions still distrusted the increasing reliance on human methods and feared that this new alliance could trigger irreversible instabilities in the fabric of the universe. Whispers of conspiracies and heated debates echoed through the station's corridors, while General Kvaris, now more nuanced in his convictions, maintained a watchful eye. "We are walking a fine line," he warned during a private meeting with Zealer. "Integrating dreams into our technology is fascinating, but if we lose control, we might open doors that can never be closed." Despite the underlying tensions, the joint effort remained strong. In a final emergency meeting, where representatives of various species gathered to discuss the continuation of the stabilization operation, Commissioner Zealer presented a bold proposal: the creation of a Dreamers Network, a collaborative system integrating human dream energies with alien control structures, allowing for a swift and coordinated response to any disturbances. This proposal, though innovative, divided opinions. To some, it represented a chance for mutual evolution, to others, a calculated risk too great to take. During that same meeting, a scene filled with emotion and symbolism cemented the newfound understanding between species. In the midst of deliberation, a young luminarch, who had once been a fervent critic of human practices, raised his voice in defense of the freedom to imagine. With eyes reflecting the intensity of a newly discovered dream, he said, "I never imagined that something as simple as taking a break could have such a profound meaning. Perhaps our logic needs to learn from humans, not just to survive, but to thrive." These words, spoken with a sincerity that moved everyone, shattered the barriers of prejudice and paved the way for a temporary consensus. For a brief moment, the web of tensions seemed to dissolve into the hope of a better future. Humans and aliens, side by side, celebrated this moment of shared understanding, a symbol that the union of opposites could generate new possibilities. As the meeting concluded and representatives exchanged interspecies handshakes and gestures blending formality with human warmth, the Celestial Station's monitoring system detected a new anomaly. A subtle yet unmistakable signal emerged from the depths of space, an energy oscillation suggesting the presence of an unknown force, one that could very well be the harbinger of even greater challenges. Arlen, observing the holographic data, commented in a solemn tone, "This is only the beginning. If our union has triggered this response from the universe, imagine what else we might face and conquer together." As the lights in the room flickered in a rhythm reminiscent of a cosmic heartbeat, the new alliance between humans and aliens strengthened, yet the omen of imminent complications loomed overhead. The newly discovered harmony, born from the integration of dreams and reason, was about to be tested by external and internal forces seeking, in some way, to unbalance the cosmos. With the Dreamers Network in its early stages and the young lucid dreamers spreading their new culture throughout the station, the Celestial Station of Orion was becoming a true laboratory of cultural evolution. Hope, though tempered by caution, illuminated the faces of all present, humans and aliens alike, like a promise that, despite the adversities ahead, the ability to dream could be the unifying force that transcended millennia-old barriers. At the end of that fateful day, as the interdimensional twilight set in and silence filled the corridors, Commissioner Zeeler and Arlen found themselves in a quiet corner of the station. Zeeler's gaze, usually cold and calculated, now radiated a welcoming curiosity. "I believe we are beginning to understand that the power of dreams is not a risk, but an opportunity. A chance to turn the impossible into reality," she said, her eyes reflecting the hope of a new dawn. Arlen, with a smile blending humor and seriousness, replied. "And to think it all started with a cup of coffee and a bold idea. The universe may be vast and enigmatic, but together, we'll discover that the true power lies in the union of our differences." As they parted ways, a sense of shared harmony filled the air, even as, in the shadows, the new anomaly promised challenges that would make every dream and every calculation more valuable than ever. The cosmos, now aware of the fusion between rationality in the dreamlike, prepared for the next stage of its evolutionary journey, a journey that, though fraught with risks, was also proof that, when united, the beings of the universe could create a future where imagination and logic danced together in perfect synchrony. And so, with the echoes of human and alien voices intertwined in a symphony of hope, the cosmos eagerly awaited what was to come next, a new testament to the fact that even the most improbable dreams could be the key to unlocking the universe's greatest mysteries. The newly discovered harmony between humans and aliens was shaken by a sinister omen. As the Dreamers Network began integrating dream energies into cosmic infrastructure, a new threat emerged from the unknown, an opposing force led by Arkiver, a radical luminarch with unshakable convictions, who saw human irrationality as an irreparable threat to the purity of logic. Arkiver, with his austere posture and eyes as cold as deep space, convinced many that balance could only be restored if human influence was eradicated, a notion that positioned him as the antagonist of an ideal that, to him, represented the true order of the universe. At Orion's celestial station, tensions had already risen due to the recent successes of cultural and technological integration. However, as the crew aboard the Aurora of Dreams prepared to investigate interdimensional anomalies, the station's sensors detected a sudden variation in cosmic energy, a massive distortion wave threatening to destabilize the entire sector. This phenomenon, dubbed the algorithmic eclipse, was not merely a technical failure. It seemed to be the prelude to a collapse, instigated by forces rejecting the fusion of dream and reason. Arkiver and his followers had orchestrated a coup behind the scenes, attempting to take control of the systems managing the Dreamers Network. In an enigmatic holographic broadcast filled with pure logic jargon, Arkiver declared, "No more illusions. Human emotion and delusions corrupt order. It is time to restore the supremacy of reason, even if that means destroying what you call dreams." As his followers, clad in impeccably symmetrical uniforms and expressionless faces, applauded in unison, tension at Celestial Station reached a critical level. The threat was not just technical but ideological. If Arkiver triumphed, the delicate balance that had been cultivated could be lost forever. In response to the assault, Arlen, Commissioner Zeeler, General Kvaris, now with a more troubled expression, and the mixed team aboard the Aurora of Dreams gathered in a command room illuminated by shifting holograms. There, integration between the two civilizations became the only hope against the algorithmic eclipse. "If we rely only on logic, we fail to understand the incomprehensible," Arlen said, with his usual blend of humor and conviction. "It's in our ability to improvise, to dream even in the midst of chaos, that we find solutions." Zeeler nodded, while Kvaris, narrowing his eyes, muttered, "I never thought human weakness could be our salvation. But if that's what we have, that's what we'll use." The mission became clear: combine alien algorithms with human dream energy to neutralize the eclipse. The Dreamer's network, which had been met with skepticism by some, would be recalibrated to transform the distortion into a stabilizing energy source. Thus, the cultural and technological integration built over the previous chapters proved essential to facing the crisis. At a critical moment, the Aurora of Dreams was hit by a sudden navigation failure caused by the eclipse's instability. Traditional systems, reliant on precise calculations, collapsed, leaving the crew adrift in a sea of uncertainties. It was then that Arlen, reminding everyone that improvisation was a human art, proposed an absurdly simple yet incredibly human solution. "What if we take a coffee break?" The suggestion, initially met with disbelief, eventually turned into a command to reboot the affected systems. In a gesture blending humor and brilliance, human technicians set up a brief intergalactic coffee break, using residual energy from coffee beans, one of humanity's most trivial habits, to reconfigure the Dreamer 9000 system. Within minutes, where pure logic had failed, the combination of human improvisation and alien technology restored the ship's course. Sometimes, the cure for a cosmic problem is as simple as a good espresso, Arlen quipped, drawing nervous laughter even from the sternest officers. As the mission progressed, two pivotal moments put the fate of both civilizations at risk. The first occurred during the approach to the eclipse, when containment systems began fluctuating alarmingly. A series of controlled explosions threatened to rupture the energy field protecting the station, and each fraction of a second seemed to condemn the entire structure to an irreversible collapse. Amidst the crisis, the mixed team worked feverishly to synchronize human and alien systems, combining precise calculations with carefully programmed dream sequences. The second moment of tension happened when Arkiver, in a desperate attempt to overthrow the Alliance, stormed the station's corridors with a small detachment of his followers. In a confrontation of epic proportions, the security team, now composed of both humans and aliens, found themselves face to face with the purists of logic. During the clash, an alien officer, who had until then strictly followed cold protocols, shocked everyone by spontaneously using a human slang phrase in a moment of panic. "Relax, guys, we'll sort this mess out." The unexpected use of such an informal term elicited a collective laugh, even in the midst of tension, demonstrating how aliens had already begun adopting human behaviors to ease pressure. Arkiver, however, was not willing to retreat. In a dramatic confrontation, he faced Commissioner Zeeler and General Kvaris directly, proclaiming that human influence was an infection that must be eradicated to preserve the purity of order. As the debate intensified, Zeeler tried to argue for unity, but Arkiver, his voice like thunder, insisted. "You delude yourselves into thinking chaos can be harmonious. True order is the only salvation." At a crucial moment, as the station's systems reached a critical peak of instability, Ileron, the young alien who had been an enthusiastic advocate of human methods, made a daring decision. Aware that dream energy had to be manually redirected to seal the eclipse, Ileron launched himself into a high-risk operation, linking his own life field to the energy network. He knew that if he failed, his very existence would be extinguished, but also that this action might be the key to saving millions of lives. The scene was heartbreaking. As the crew watched with expressions of pain and admiration, Ileron, his voice trembling, murmured, "I always doubted that a dream could change everything, but today, my life is the bridge between what we are and what we can become." His efforts allowed the dream energy to be amplified, transforming the eclipse into a stabilizing energy field. The connection between Ileron and the dream network created a vibrant pulse that spread through the station, while the young alien's sacrifice viscerally united the fate of both worlds. As the stabilizing field took hold, both humans and aliens began to realize they were evolving into something new and unique. The interplay between rigid logic and exuberant creativity not only saved the station but redefined fundamental concepts of power and coexistence. The central social dilemma, the conflict between individuality and conformity, was experienced intensely in every decision made during that moment of crisis. As the station's leaders gathered to assess the damage and plan for the future, profound debates emerged about the value of dreams and emotions in governing complex societies. Zeller, alongside Arlen, argued that human vulnerability, often seen as a weakness, was actually the source of decisive strength. The ability to feel, to fail, and to reinvent ourselves is what makes us resilient, she asserted, while the faces around her reflected both relief and concern for what the future held. In this charged atmosphere of emotions and responsibilities, the young lucid dreamers, now a vibrant subculture among the aliens, organized small cultural events to celebrate the fusion of dream and reason. During one of these celebrations, a group of young luminarchs, imitating human gestures, raised an intergalactic toast, with phrases like, "We got this, bro," eliciting unexpected laughter even from the most traditional attendees. This scene, both comedic and symbolic, showed that the new generation was willing to embrace the best of both worlds, even if the transition wasn't always smooth. With the algorithm eclipse neutralized and Arkiver's threat temporarily contained, Orion's celestial station breathed a sigh of relief, though at a heavy cost. Iluron's sacrifice became a symbol of the deep connection formed between the species, a bond that transcended prejudice and challenged centuries-old dogmas. Even those like General Kvaris, who initially saw human irrationality as a risk, were now forced to recognize that improvisation, emotion, and the ability to dream were powerful weapons in the battle for evolution. In the aftermath of the crisis, interspecies leaders gathered to discuss the next steps. The Dreamers Network would undergo a revision that integrated the lessons of the eclipse, a more refined fusion of precise calculations with the fluidity of dreams. Arlen, gazing at the starlit horizon, declared, "Today, we learned that sometimes, apparent weakness is our greatest strength. If we can maintain this balance, no challenge the universe throws at us will be insurmountable." However, not all problems had been resolved. Arkiver, withdrawn but not defeated, delivered his final words in a clandestine transmission. "The light that shines from the union of opposites is beautiful, but the darkness lurking in the abyss of pure reason may yet consume us. This is not the end but the prelude to a new conflict." As the station was rebuilt and the bonds between humans and aliens strengthened, a philosophical question lingered in the air: what was the true cost of blending emotion and logic? Was the universe ready for a civilization that embraced both the unpredictability of dreams and the precision of calculations? This question, laden with social and existential implications, left everyone, from the elders to the young lucid dreamers, with a bittersweet sense of victory and apprehension. In a final emblematic scene, during a memorial honoring Iluron's sacrifice, Zeller and Arlen walked together through a corridor where holograms projected images of ancient human dreams and alien formulas. Amid the respectful silence, Zeller whispered, "Every choice we make, no matter how illogical it seems, can open doors to a future where unity is stronger than any dogma." Arlen responded with a serene smile. "The universe is vast and mysterious, and together, we are only beginning to unravel its secrets. Today, we learn that the true revolution is not one of pure logic, but of the ability to dream and transform." As interdimensional light softened the contours of a station now pulsing with life and hope, the newly forged alliance between humans and aliens remained strong, but Arkiver's warning echoed as a foreboding omen. The threat of conservative forces attempting to dismantle this new paradigm loomed on the horizon, setting the stage for the fifth and final part of this saga. Thus, with the crisis partially resolved and the algorithm eclipse contained, at least for now, the universe braced itself for a new chapter, where the balance between reason and imagination would once again be tested. Amidst reconstruction, the occasional laughter of aliens imitating human slang and the vibrant memory of a heroic sacrifice reminded everyone that, when united, dreams could truly save worlds. But the journey was far from over, and the promise of future challenges made it clear that for every victory, there were still mysteries to unravel and dilemmas to confront. And so, with hearts beating in harmony and the universe witnessing an unprecedented transformation, Orion's celestial station and its inhabitants prepared for what lay ahead, an uncertain fate, yet one filled with possibilities, where the union of logic and dreams would prove to be the key not only to facing cosmic challenges but also to navigating the existential dilemmas of a new era. As interspecies leaders celebrated the neutralization of the eclipse, Arlen and Zealer, accompanied by General Kvaris and the young, lucid dreamers, delved into the records of ancestral dreams and the algorithms composing the Dreamers Network. It was then that the truth was revealed. The instability afflicting the cosmos was not the result of an external threat but a natural mechanism of the universe. Rather than a flaw, the eclipse was a kind of evolutionary test, a self-regulating response that required the integration of opposites, the cold precision of calculations and the passion of dreams. At that moment, what had once been seen as an irrational flaw became the master key to interdimensional stability. The universe, in its primordial consciousness, used the conflict between logic and imagination to continuously reinvent itself. Thus, humans, with their unique ability to dream, were not defective, they were the architects of cosmic evolution. In a gathering of communion held in the Hall of Harmony, holograms projected records of dreams and formulas that sustained the Dreamers Network. There, Zealer announced with a serene voice that the true nature of the cosmos was dialectical. Our existence is shaped by the synthesis of calculation and poetry. The universe is a being that breathes imagination and reason, and we, together, are its instruments of transformation. The revelation was met with a silence laden with emotion. What the luminarchs had once considered human imperfections now proved to be the link connecting all beings to a universal intelligence. The antagonist Archiver, whose rigid stance embodied the inflexibility of pure thought, had mysteriously vanished, or perhaps his ideology had been absorbed by the very process of cosmic evolution. In the warmth of that moment, as echoes of past sacrifices, like Ileron's, still reverberated through the station's corridors, Arlen walked alongside a young luminarch named Elyon. Once a fierce critic of human influence, Elyon now found himself transformed. With teary eyes, he confessed, "I never imagined I could feel something so profound. Today, I understand that our balance is not a weakness but our greatest strength." The emotion was contagious. Tears mingled with smiles, and in that instant, the barrier between species seemed to dissolve forever. The universe, through the convergence of dream and reason, had elevated both peoples to a new level of understanding. Even amid such profound revelation, the irreverent spirit of humans was not lost. During the unification ceremony, an alien officer, attempting to mimic human gestures, blurted out, "Hey, folks, let's toast with a good cup of coffee, or better yet, an intergalactic tea." The joke, as absurd as the sound of human slang in a formal setting, elicited laughter that brought the attendees even closer together. This cosmic humor encapsulated the entire journey, the ability to find lightness in difficulties and transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. Aware that the new era needed to be sustained, the leaders organized a torch-passing ceremony for the next generation. The lucid dreamers received, in holographic symbols, the journals of ancestral dreams and the formulas sustaining the Dreamers Network. Ileron, in memory of his sacrifice, was honored as the first to unite body, mind, and spirit with the intelligence of the cosmos. May this legacy remind us that even in adversity, the power to dream can rewrite the laws of the universe, declared Zealer. In the months that followed, the universe underwent irreversible changes. Planets once governed by cold calculations learned to value the beauty of uncertainty and the importance of rest and creativity. The integration of humans and aliens transformed the Celestial Station of Orion into an epicenter of innovation and art, where science intertwined with poetry and logic was tempered with emotion. Arlen, now regarded as an interspecies mentor, ended each gathering with a phrase that resonated in the hearts of all. "Always dream, for dreams are the key to infinity." As the sun of a new era dawned on the stellar horizon, an enigmatic whisper echoed through the depths of space. A new anomaly had emerged, suggesting that while one battle had been won, the cosmos still held even greater secrets. The end is only the beginning. And so, with the universe permanently transformed by the union of logic and the dreamlike, the saga of the cosmic dreamers came to a close, or perhaps, to the beginning of stories that could never be fully told. For dreams, after all, are infinite.